Huge shout out goes out to our current channel members. If you're interested in gaining a channel membership, then feel free to head over to my channel profile and click the join button. Also, we do have a Ninjago Discord server. It's a great way to communicate with myself and many others. For more details on that, click the very first link at the very top of the description of this video.
When it comes to Ninjago villains, well, there are certainly a lot out there. With over 15 Ninjago seasons in total at this point in time, obviously that then also equates to pretty much how many villains there are in total. Simply put though, it's a lot. And so, the question of who's the best villain, or who's your favourite villain, is definitely a tricky one because there is just so much to choose from in this category. But today, I would like to share with all of you my personal favourite Ninjago villain of all time, and also explain to all of you what makes this particular villain so great. As you guys have already seen in this title, obviously, for today's video, well, in my case specifically, my favourite villain is Nadakhan, and today I would like to showcase to all of you the main reasons as to why I believe Nadakhan is, by an absolute long shot, the best villain Ninjago has ever seen, and all things considered, the best villain we will probably ever see in the world of Ninjago. Let's get started. Now, when talking about a villain and why they're so good, or, you know, even bad, I suppose, but in this case, obviously, why they're so good, I'd like to first start off with the motives. Nadakhan's motives. Yeah, I thought that it's only right I start with the basics here, and then work our way up to some of the more, I suppose, sophisticated aspects of why I like him so much. But starting off with Nadakhan's motives, as I say here, they're great. And I suppose, actually, quite understandable in a way, at least. I mean, just think. His realm was entirely, like, completely destroyed, decimated, and that all happened indirectly by the ninja after they destroyed the cursed realm. And as Ninjago was destroyed, it took all of his relatives and close ones along with it. This turned him to essentially just grow more and more hatred towards the ninja, the people that actually, well, indirectly caused this much damage, and so he used their actual power to fuel his plans by trapping them into his Sword of Souls that he was gifted by his father, Khan, to recreate Ninjago within Ninjago. It's a nice refresher compared to the usual kind of just scenario of villain wants to control and destroy Ninjago so that they can then become the ultimate evil, the most powerful, muhaha, rule the world, that's it. You know, it's definitely a nice break away from that stereotype, and Nadakhan, again, really break away from it in what I think is one of the best ways possible. So yeah, starting things off here, his motives, impeccable, great stuff, I like how unique it was, and it serves as a very nice breath of fresh air in comparison to a lot of other Ninjago villains out there. Another big reason for me personally liking Nadakhan is his actual theme. He's like a very odd balance between being a genie and a pirate, and I think that is awesome. It also is very unique. He has a very badass personality that mixes along with this whole theme nicely, and it all comes together to cultivate one very intimidating villain. Aside from maybe people such as the Overlord, though, I would say that Nadakhan is definitely up there with one of the most intimidating villains we have ever seen in Ninjago's season, which is absolutely always going to be a very good thing to me. He's great, and having a good, imposing on-screen presence is one of the most important parts about villain in my eyes, because if they don't have this really intimidating on-screen presence, what really makes them a villain at the end of the day? Again, that's one of the main things that really cultivates a true good villain, and Nadakhan absolutely has pretty much all of those boxes ticked when it comes to this particular category. He's ruthless. And I mean, really, really ruthless. Now, I suppose that this all comes down on how you specifically want to look at things, but to me, I do somewhat believe that Nadakhan cared about his crew, but at the same time, it's like a flip of a coin. He also doesn't care about them as much as he cares about his plans, and things that directly impact and benefit him, himself, everything to do with, again, him, which just adds on to his ruthlessness that I was talking about earlier. It's insane, and speaks volumes as to how evil and just straight up ruthless he really is, which honestly just makes him even more fun to watch on screen. And I know that fun might sound like a bit of a weird word to use in this case, but let me explain. By that, it just adds an extra level of almost unpredictability to him, because you never really truly know what he's going to decide on doing next, or what is actually really going on inside his head at that current moment in time. You don't know what he's thinking, or what his next move may be. Sometimes you have an idea of what that might be, just based off his current actions, but at the end of the day, nothing is ever concrete, and that is a very great part about Nadakhan as a villain. He's also very manipulative. In fact, in terms of physical strength, Nadakhan simply is not all that strong, like, at all, and I think basically anybody would agree with everyone on that. It's the mental side of things that grants Nadakhan power. Again, physically he simply isn't very strong from everything we've ever seen of him up on screen now. Instead though, Nadakhan has a very great way of manipulating people and twisting words, both when he's granting people wishes, or, you know, just in general, even when he isn't. This is where Nadakhan's true power comes from, and the same can absolutely not be said for other villains in this particular case, which makes him stand out from the crowd that much more, and this is definitely one huge reason as to why I love him as a villain so much. Just the fact that all of his power comes from the mental side of things as opposed to the physical. He's not, you know, intimidating as if he's going to come up and start beating up the ninja to death physically. Instead, he catches them off and picks them off one by using the power of the mind. A very great theme that we haven't really seen all that much of throughout Ninjago, at least not compared to the latter. As more of a final side note I would like to end off on though, this one is absolutely not as major as the other points by any means, as ultimately, what makes any villain so great is mostly their, well, actual personality, their motives, and basically everything else I've previously mentioned here, but I do also like Nadakhan's physical design quite a fair bit. His ponytail, the slightly more orange-toned skin colour, the forearms, and even the fact that he doesn't have a normal, traditional leg piece like other LEGO figures and just, you know, humans in Ninjago, but he levitates using a very strange, mysterious puff of smoke. It does definitely serve as a very welcome addition to the character of Nadakhan, so yeah, I did just want to still include this particular aspect, but it's not as important, I'd say, as some of the other points I have previously mentioned. So, with all of this being said, it is for all of these reasons that I love Nadakhan as a villain, and just as a character overall. He really has it all when it comes to being a good villain, and to be honest, he set the mark so high for Ninjago villains that I personally just do not see anybody else ever beating Nadakhan in terms of being the best villain of all time in the future of Ninjago, in my personal opinion. But with that being said, of course, all of this has been my own personal opinion, so with all of this being said, guys, I do turn it over to all of you watching. Please, feel free to let me know what you guys think about Nadakhan, or even go one step further. Let me know who your favourite villain is down below in the comment section, and why that is the case. As always though, keep things positive and respectful, because that is ultimately what this channel is all about. Having different, diverse conversations regarding whatever topic it is we're discussing that day. But with all of this being said, guys, I do have one favour to ask from all of you. Well, if you made it this far into the video and did enjoy it, please do consider leaving a like on it, it would really help me out. Subscribe to the channel for more like this, and also hit that notification bell so that you can absolutely never miss out on a future upload from me here on the Overlord X YouTube channel. It really helps me out actually thrive as a YouTuber and helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. But with all of this being said, I will catch you all very soon for a new video. Goodbye everybody, I will catch you all very soon for a new one. Goodbye.